you believe this? On the roof of the world, in a place where even breathing can feel exhausting for humans, there is a silent killer walking through the white snow. It does not roar like a lion. It does not sprint like a cheetah. It does not show off its power like a tiger. It remains silent. So silent that its prey can stand just a few dozen meters away and still have no idea it is being watched. People call it the ghost of the mountains. Its real name is the snow leopard. One of the most mysterious big cats on Earth. A creature born to live in a place that almost seems not meant for life, freezing cold. Thin air, powerful winds, slippery rocks, scarce food, and one wrong step could mean the end. But the most terrifying thing about the snow leopard is not its claws or teeth. It is its patience. It can watch its prey for hours. Calculate every step. Choose the right wind direction. Use every rock as cover. And when the moment comes, the entire mountain seems to become its weapon. Today, we are entering the kingdom of the snow leopard, a place where there is no room for mistakes, where the strongest do not always survive, and where a silent ghost rules the highest cliffs on Earth. The Himalayas are not just a mountain range. They are a giant wall standing between Earth and sky. They contain the highest peaks on the planet. And here, climbing just a few hundred meters higher can change the climate as if you have stepped into another world. At the foot of the mountains, forests are still green, water is still abundant, food is still relatively easy to find. But the higher you climb, the harsher everything becomes. Trees begin to disappear. The air becomes thinner. The wind grows colder. Food becomes scarce. Every step requires more energy. For humans, this is a place to test their limits. People come to the Himalayas to climb, explore, and challenge themselves. But for the snow leopard, this is not a place to conquer. This is home. It does not need to prove that it is strong. It only needs to survive. And to survive here, it has become almost perfectly designed for the mountains. In this place, nature does not ask who you are. It only asks, can you adapt? And the snow leopard has answered that question through millions of years of evolution. If the lion is the king of the savannah, and the tiger is the lord of the forest, then the snow leopard is the grand master of hide and seek. It does not need magic to become invisible. It only needs to stand still. Its pale gray and yellowish fur, covered with dark rosette patterns, allows it to almost disappear among rocks, snow, and mountain shadows. From a distance, it looks more like a stone than a big cat. And that is why people call it the ghost of the mountains. Not because it is supernatural, but because you can stare directly at it and still see nothing. The snow leopard's eyes are always watching. Its body stays low, soft, and quiet. When it hunts, it does not rush forward like an impatient predator. It waits. 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour. For the snow leopard, hunting is not a race. It is a game of chess. Its prey may be blue sheep, ibex, marmots, or even livestock when wild prey becomes scarce. But no matter what it hunts, the rule remains the same. Do not rush. Do not reveal yourself. Do not waste energy. Because at this altitude, every leap costs precious strength, and one wrong jump can send even the hunter falling into the abyss. When you look at a snow leopard, you quickly realize that it is not like an ordinary big cat. It is not as massive as a tiger. It does not show off muscles like a lion. But every part of its body is built for one purpose: surviving in the mountains. First, there is its fur. The snow leopard's coat is thick and long, helping it retain heat in freezing environments. Its dense underfur and long outer fur protect it from icy winds, snow, and cold rocks. Then there are its paws. Its wide paws help spread its body weight over snow. Almost like natural snowshoes, each step becomes more stable, quieter, and less likely to sink. And then there is its tail. The snow leopard's tail is extremely long and thick. It is not just used for balance when moving along cliffs. It also works like a furry scarf. When resting, the snow leopard can wrap its tail around its body to stay warm. To put it simply, while humans need coats, scarves, gloves, thick socks, and hats to survive the cold, the snow leopard walks outside with the full winter package built into its body. But the most impressive thing is how it moves. On cliffs that make humans dizzy just by looking down, the snow leopard walks as calmly as if it were strolling through its backyard. No wasted movement. No careless jumping. No showing off. Every step is a calculation. Because in the Himalayas, the survivor is not always the strongest. It is the one that makes the fewest mistakes. Now imagine a hunt that does not happen on flat land, but on a mountain cliff. On one side is the snow leopard, a predator that is almost invisible. On the other side is the blue sheep or the ibex, masters of the mountains, capable of running across terrain that would make humans lose their balance just by looking at it. This is not a hunt where the stronger animal automatically wins. This is a hunt of position, angle, and timing. The snow leopard usually chooses a higher position than its prey. It watches from above the slope, making sure the wind does not carry its scent toward the target. Then it moves closer, step by step, so slowly that it almost seems frozen in place. But the prey is not easy. Blue sheep and ibex have incredible hooves that grip rock with amazing precision. They are born on cliffs, raised on cliffs, feed on cliffs, and run on cliffs. If there were an Olympic event for running where no one else dares to stand, they would easily win the gold medal. So how does the snow leopard hunt them? It uses the mountain itself. When the distance is close enough, the snow leopard launches from above, not because it enjoys danger, but because the slope gives it speed. At that moment, the mountain is no longer an obstacle. It becomes an ally. But this is also the most dangerous moment. If the snow leopard miscalculates, it can fall. If the prey changes direction at the right second, it can escape. If both animals tumble down the slope, the hunt can turn into a deadly fall. In many snow leopard hunts, we see it clinging tightly to its prey while both predator and prey roll down the cliff. It is the kind of hunt that looks painful even to watch. But the snow leopard does not have many choices. In a place where food is scarce, one large kill can feed it for several days. So it must take a risk. In the Himalayas, food does not come to the strongest. It comes to the most patient. The snow leopard is a creature of solitude. It does not live in packs like wolves. It does not live in prides like lions. It does not have a social group hanging out on the cliffs. For most of its life, the snow leopard walks alone. And this makes perfect sense. At high altitudes, food is limited. If too many predators live too close together, all of them will go hungry. That is why each snow leopard needs a large territory to find enough prey. They communicate through scent, scratches, urine marks, and signs left on rocks. In other words, snow leopards have their own social media, but instead of posting status updates, they leave scent marks. The message is something like, "This is my area. I just passed through." I am strong. I do not want to fight. But do not casually walk into my home. It may sound simple, but this kind of communication helps them avoid direct conflict. And in this environment, fighting is expensive. Even a small injury can stop a snow leopard from hunting. And if it cannot hunt, danger comes quickly. So the snow leopard chooses silence. It exists like a shadow, appearing and disappearing, walking across snow while leaving only faint traces, living right in front of humans, yet remaining unseen for years. That is why it is considered one of the most difficult big cats in the world to observe. If life is difficult for an adult snow leopard, it is even harder for snow leopard cubs. They are born small, weak, and completely dependent on their mother. During their first weeks, a rocky den is their entire world. Outside, there is freezing wind, eagles, wolves, other predators, and deadly drops from steep cliffs. The mother snow leopard must protect her cubs, hunt for food, defend her territory, and avoid humans at the same time. To put it simply, this is single motherhood in the Himalayas on extreme difficulty mode. As the cubs grow, they begin to explore outside. At first, they take clumsy little steps around the den. Then they start climbing rocks, jumping across small gaps, playing with each other, biting their siblings' ears, and pouncing on their mother's tail. It looks cute, but in reality, it is survival training. Every game is a hunting lesson. Every jump is a balance lesson. Every slip is experience that may prevent a deadlier mistake later. The mother cannot teach with words. She teaches through action. She walks first. The cubs follow. She hunts. They watch. She chooses the safe path. They learn where to place their paws. This is one of the most important stages in a snow leopard's life. If the cubs do not learn how to read the terrain, hide their bodies, hunt prey, and avoid humans, they will not survive after leaving their mother. In this world, childhood does not last long, because winter always returns. Many people think the snow leopard's greatest enemies are stronger animals. But in reality, its greatest enemies are often hunger, cold, and humans. Winter in the Himalayas is not a joke. When deep snow covers the mountains, prey becomes harder to find. But the snow leopard also struggles to move. Animals like blue sheep and ibex may retreat to dangerous cliffs or move into other areas. The snow leopard must travel farther and spend more energy. If it cannot find wild prey, it may turn to livestock such as goats, sheep, young horses, or young yaks. And this is where tragedy begins. For the snow leopard, it is survival. For the herder, it is property, food, income, and a year of hard work. Losing one goat may sound small to someone watching a video, but for a family living in the high mountains, it can be a serious loss. That is why humans sometimes retaliate. Snow leopards may be hunted, trapped, or killed after attacking livestock. They also face shrinking habitats, declining wild prey, and illegal trade in their fur and bones. So the story of the snow leopard is not only a story between predator and prey. It is a story between nature and humans. A difficult story, but not one without a solution. The big question is, can humans and snow leopards coexist? The answer is yes. But it is not easy. If we want to protect snow leopards, we cannot simply tell mountain communities, do not kill them because they are rare. That sounds nice, but if a snow leopard killed several of their goats last night, that message will be very hard to accept. Effective conservation must understand both sides. On one side, the snow leopard needs food to survive. On the other side, local people need livestock to support their families. That is why many conservation programs now focus on practical solutions: predator-proof livestock corrals, compensation for livestock losses, income from ecotourism, camera traps to monitor snow leopards, and community education about the role of this species. When local people see that the snow leopard is not only the animal that eats goats, but also a symbol that can attract tourism, a sign of a healthy ecosystem, and a part of their mountain heritage, they have more reasons to protect it. In other words, to save the snow leopard, we cannot save only the snow leopard. We must also repair the relationship between this animal and the people who share its mountains. The snow leopard is not just a beautiful animal. It is a sign of the health of the entire mountain ecosystem. If snow leopards still survive in an area, it means wild prey still exists there. Blue sheep, ibex, marmots, and other mountain animals are still present. The cliffs are still wild enough. The valleys are not completely broken. A snow leopard standing on a mountain slope does not represent only itself. It represents an entire world behind it: rock, snow, wind, prey, scavenging birds, local people, yaks, small villages, and the beliefs of communities living beneath the mountains. So when the snow leopard disappears, what is lost is not just one big cat. What is lost is balance. Without snow leopards, prey populations may change, vegetation may be affected, ecological conflict may spread, and a part of the wild soul of the Himalayas disappears with it. The snow leopard is a creature many people will never see in the wild. But sometimes, the most precious things do not need to appear before our eyes every day. Just knowing that it is still somewhere up there in the snowy mountains, silently crossing the cliffs and living by the ancient laws of nature, is enough to remind us that this world still holds mysteries. There are still places that have not been fully tamed. There are still beautiful ghosts that belong to the high mountains. The snow leopard does not need to roar to prove that it rules the mountains. It only needs to exist. To exist in the coldest places. To move across the steepest slopes. To hunt in the most dangerous terrain. To raise its cubs in one of the harshest environments on Earth. And to disappear right before human eyes like a true ghost. It may not be the strongest big cat on the planet, but perhaps it is one of the most resilient. In the Himalayas, every day of survival is a victory. Every footprint in the snow is proof that life continues. And every time a snow leopard appears on a camera trap, it is not just a rare moment. It is a reminder. Nature still holds secrets that humans cannot control. If you enjoy wild animal stories like this, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment below. Do you think the snow leopard is a terrifying predator? Or a fragile survivor trying to live in a world that is becoming smaller every day? And now, remember this. On the roof of the world, among rock, snow, and freezing wind, a ghost is still walking. And its name is the snow leopard.